What's up, everyone? It's your boy Financial Charles back at it again with another video. I was just driving randomly and I decided to make this video talking about why Bitcoin will always go up forever, even though there's bull markets and bear markets. It's actually very simple. You know, you could do tens of thousands of hours of research into Bitcoin, and I think everyone should do tens of thousands of hours of research. But to sum it up, Bitcoin price goes up because over time, the amount of fiat circulating in the system increases while the amount of Bitcoin circulating decreases. In the market dynamic, there are buyers and sellers, but there's a certain breed of buyers called Forever HODlers. And these Forever HODlers are essentially black holes to the Bitcoin supply. The Forever HODlers, every 2 weeks, let's say, you know, maybe you get paid every 2 weeks, or maybe you know someone in your family that gets paid every 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks, this new fiat that this person didn't have before enters, and then the Forever HODlers, every 2 weeks, they use that money to just buy Bitcoin. And the reason that they're called Forever HODlers is because no matter what the price is, they will always hold their Bitcoin. They don't plan on selling their Bitcoin forever. Doesn't matter what the price is going to be in 2025 or 2026. They're holding it for past 2050, past 2100, past 2200. They're holding it for multiple generations well after their death. These Forever HODlers, if they're really going to hold those coins for so long, those coins will never be up for sale ever again. So the amount of Bitcoins that's on the market for sale, it will continue to decrease over time, because over time the Forever HODlers continue buying more and holding it forever. So over time, when these Forever HODlers continuously accumulate more fiat, over time the amount of Bitcoin supply for sale is drying up. They're a black hole. Every time the Forever HODler gets their hands on some Bitcoin, that Bitcoin will never see the exchange ever again. It will never be for sale ever again. And every 4 years, the amount of Bitcoin that gets rewarded to miners, it gets cut in half. So less and less Bitcoin is being available to buy over time. And what's crazy about these Forever HODlers is even if the supply completely dries up on the exchanges and there's no more Bitcoin to be bought up, they're still not selling, and they still have their fiat coming in, so they will continue to buy. They will buy the Bitcoin that people are selling, because when Bitcoin completely dries up on the exchanges, but the demand is still there, if there is zero supply left, but the demand is still there because of the Forever HODlers, their purchasing power in terms of fiat continues to increase over time, and they're Forever HODlers, so there's always going to be increasing demand for Bitcoin, but there's zero supply. The Bitcoin price continues to go up until someone in the system decides, all right, Bitcoin is at 300K, I'm going to sell it because it's good. Like, I'm so happy with 300K because I'm thinking in a fiat mindset. I'm not here to just accumulate Bitcoin. I'm here to exchange it for fiat. There are people like that will sell it at $300,000, and the Forever HODlers will just accumulate it, and then it will never be available on the exchange ever again. So eventually, what I'm saying is, over time, everyone with a fiat mindset will have sold their coins, and the coins that will be up for sale will be mopped up by Forever HODlers. Forever HODlers, you might be a Forever HODler. Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy, they are Forever HODlers. You can probably say BlackRock is a Forever HODler. Like, these are coins that they're not, like Michael Saylor said it himself, he's not selling his Bitcoin. This is a multi-generational thing. So everyone that is in it to accumulate more dollars, they will eventually sell it at their price, whether Bitcoin hits $2 million, so this guy's gonna sell his Bitcoin for fiat. Eventually, all the sellers will have no more Bitcoin to sell. They will have no more Bitcoin to sell, and if they ever want to get back in, they're gonna have to buy back in. While they sell their Bitcoin, the Forever HODlers continue to mop up those coins that are available. But see, like, eventually, there's going to be no more sellers because all the sellers just sold all their coins. But the Forever HODLers, the demand keeps going up. So that's where Bitcoin kind of hits infinity. Almost. It kind of hits infinity, or like not infinity, but Bitcoin gets priced in such a way where there's no amount of dollars that you would like to exchange. There's no amount of dollars that you can convince me to take for me to give you my Bitcoin. That is going to reach that point where, you know, you can have an infinite amount of dollars, but I still don't want to sell any of my Bitcoin to you because those dollars are not worth anything to me. That's where it is now just a Bitcoin standard instead of a US dollar standard, if that makes sense. So currently, the reason that there's, you know, the bull markets and the bear markets, the bull market is because it always just goes up. The bear market is when, you know, these fiat-minded people decide that it's time to sell. So then they sell, and then what happens is that it makes the price go lower because there's more supply available to buy, but the demand, let's say, doesn't keep up with the supply that was recently added on. And then sorry, there's a train. So lost my train of thought. Let me just think about what I was gonna say, because it was good. I'm just looking at this train, just lost my train of thought. But yeah, so the Forever HODLers, I'm not gonna edit this either. I don't care. But yeah, the reason that the bear markets happen is because eventually, you know, people want to sell their Bitcoin for $500,000, let's say, so because they want fiat, and then it crashes the price because there's more supply that all of a sudden just entered the markets, but the demand wasn't able to keep up, so it lowers the price to meet the demand. And then what that does with the lower prices, it scares more people, so more people sell, and then it's a chain reaction, and then, you know, longs get liquidated, and that's how it gets pushed down even more. So once you get down to like the 50, 60, 70% corrections, like everyone's just capitulating because it's fear. It's the exact opposite of FOMO. When it goes up, it's just fear. So by the time you have an 80% drawdown in the market, the only people that are left in the market are those Forever HODLers, because everyone that wanted, once it's down 80%, everyone that wanted to sell has already sold. They don't have any more Bitcoin to sell, so they have no more downward pressure on the market. The Forever HODLers, the whole time they've been there, every 2 weeks, they continue to just exchange their fiat for, you know, Bitcoin. And they just continue to accumulate and accumulate. So at the bottom of the market, the only pressure on the market is that upside pressure, is that buy pressure. And that's why Bitcoin price goes up. And then it creates the FOMO cycle once again and again and again. But eventually, over time, everyone that wanted to sell Bitcoin is going to continue to just sell their Bitcoin, and they're eventually going to reach a point where they have no more Bitcoin to sell. And this is even going for the people. Now, in real life, it's probably going to take hundreds of years for that to happen, because there are people that, let's say, have 4,000 Bitcoin, and they just need to sell like 2 Bitcoin per year to survive and live a lavish lifestyle. And they got 4,000 of those Bitcoins, you know? So it's going to take hundreds of years for, you know, fiat-minded people or just sellers to sell all their Bitcoin, and then it'll enter the hands of the Forever HODLers. So, like, it's going to take probably still hundreds of years, but who knows? Maybe it'll just be so fast, maybe everyone will just understand to be a Forever HODLer. Over time, there are more Forever HODLers. Each year that goes on, there are more and more Bitcoin Maxis that are born. So imagine that. There are more and more black holes sucking up the Bitcoin supply every year, and the Bitcoin supply becomes less and less. And the people that want to sell for fiat, they will eventually run out of Bitcoin to sell because they sold it all. And now it's just a market full of Forever HODLers. And that is a market where you don't want any amount of US dollar for any amount of Bitcoin. It's infinite. Bitcoin would be priced in terms of US dollars, infinite. It'd be infinity. So that's the market dynamic. Yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. Hopefully it was good. Hopefully I wasn't just not making sense. Hopefully it makes sense. But if you guys like the video, please like and subscribe.